So I've got some bases put together here. I'm happy with them. They feel great. And I thought I would just talk a little bit about how I start to build a story. I did mention a little bit about these little small bases, which I'll be working with during the week. But the idea behind this is, when I build a story, I like to draw upon a lot of the components that I may have gathered that have meaning to me. And some of the most important of those are some of the old what-ifs that I have worked up in the past. And I wanted to encourage this because a lot of times you can just pick up something that you've done previously and combine it with something else that you're doing presently. And I like this because it has the feel of a story. You're combining the past with the present and pulling them together in some context. So this cloth here has inspired me. I feel like it's sort of earthy, so I'm considering going forward with that kind of a theme. I've actually even written Old Earth on the corner here to remind me of what I'm doing. And then the landscape, I just looked at this, and this is such a natural layout. I just thought to myself when I looked at it, this is in between here, and I'm thinking of using the theme of in between here and actually starting to place some elements. I found this old what if here that actually says the word edge, which was an experiment on the edge applique. And I'm thinking I might even be able to use that in here somewhere, or maybe even place elements in between some of the areas and make a story out of that. The gauze piece worked out really well. I actually cut away a little piece here to see if I could work with that in any way. I don't think I'm going to, but I really like the feel of it, and it's got this frosted sort of ancient look. And I think what I'll do on this one is just pull together maybe one of my old silk what-ifs, maybe part of that same quilt that isn't covered, even maybe some additional pieces from the grandmother who made the quilt. So that's really my theme there. But the most important one I'm going to work with, I think, is the woven one. And the reason for that is this represents something that I am really attached to at the moment. And I feel that it could be a great way to combine some of the really old pieces. This is actually my first what if. It was a very old piece of patchwork where I asked myself how small I could piece. And I'm going to use that element along with maybe some other really old quilting pieces that I did, even a couple of pieces of some of the original things I might have collected. I've decided on an overall theme here of Once Upon a Cloth, which I think is really appropriate for the class. And it will basically be me combining things from my past and my present that directly have to do with cloth and my cloth making. And I will probably start and concentrate on this piece. This morning I actually continued on a piece that I'm calling Home Sweet Home. You may have read my blog, I don't know. And I've combined a very old piece of embroidery along with some old scraps and started to actually, I think I'm going to put a face on this tree-like figure. It's all about familiarity and things like that. And I also sewed a little ladybug on it this morning that I saw in the garden. So you get the idea. A lot of people think that, gee, you do so much work on your pieces, how do you get that all done? And the secret is, I'm using things from the past that actually might have taken me quite a while to produce. And in this way, I can create a very rich surface much more quickly by compressing time into one art piece.